Right. Oh, and here we are in the second vlog for Where Darkness Dwells Fragmented. And last time it was a bit of a short one. Obviously I don't want to try and make these too long. Probably about 40 minutes to an hour again. Kind of depends, really. But the idea is basically you're gonna try and do some the items today. Because I might make a couple of items just for the thing. I do need to try and make the armor for the corrupted Lilith as well. Then yeah, so make the armor for corrupted Lilith. I might make a couple of other magical items. So you know there'll be some enchantments, there'll be some magical, there'll be a couple of things. Nothing too crazy, because again I'm trying to keep this one a bit more, not so much down to earth and not too simple, but nothing too out there, so to say. So we're going to start with the corrupted the corrupted Lilith armor. For that we're going to I'm trying to remember the final. It's been a while since I've done this, so I've got to try and remember where everything is now, which is always fun. So I think I need to go to here, and then I need to find let's put in vampire. So first thing I need to do is I need to find the Vampire Lord armor. Is this the one I'm looking at? I need to find out, because I gotta find out which one it is I'm finding that I need to look at. So if I'm gonna, you can select it. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. So obviously we're gonna change this. This is the thing that we're looking to change. So what I'm going to do with this one, I don't know what the royal one is. What's the royal? Oh, John, what's the royal one? Or is that just the actual royal armor? What is that? Oh, it's got the crown on top. It's actually, John, just work out. Is there a difference between the two? Or they both look the same? Okay, that one's got less of a crown on it, I think. So. I'm not too interested about giving Corrupted Lilith a crown. Not trying to become royal or anything like that. So we're going to duplicate that, and then we're just going to quickly rename this. And 0 dark C Lilith armor on my armor. You know, just keep it kind of like, there you go. Right, so got the, oh yeah, no, and then yes. Right, so we got the armor add-on ready. The armor we will create as well a bit quickly if I go, which I think comes as a skin, doesn't it? I need to have a look. Skin Naked Vampire Lord, I think that's the one we're looking at, I think, if I can remember correctly. So then we're looking at, well, there's no easy way to look at it really is. Oh, yeah. If I can create, this is the one that we're looking at, because we've got to, obviously we'll put it onto there. So, but it has no world model over that because of its it says Naked Vampire Lord, so I'm pretty sure that's assuming. I'm assuming that is the one I will have to duplicate for this. So we're going to go to here, and again we're just going to go 0 dark C Lilith. Yeah. Or however you spell her name. Lilith armor, and then without the AA on the end, and then boom. Okay, so now I got to create the texture set for it. See, this might be this might be a point where I might need to cut some stuff out potentially. More on the premise of, because I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm looking for. As well as, you know, as well as kind of like trying to find the right kind of like color coloration. So we're going to create a new armor new set. So what I need to do now is I actually need to go into here and go to extracted textures, and go to textures, and then I can basically now obviously look at any kind of texture that I want. So I'm going to experiment around off camera, because this bit will be a bit tedious, as well as I'm going to try and remember exactly the right string to type in. So I'm back in a second once I picked out what one I'm using, but I'll show you which one I'm using obviously. and worked out the string. Right, so I've done the first iteration. This might change, so I might take this as an opportunity so you can see what happens, and then we can obviously change it around if we need to change it, and this, that, and the other. So, got the texture set done. First iteration, we're going to try it. So we're just going to click OK on that one. So then it should be done for that one. So now we need to now go to the armor add-on, and we need to find the, basically just get rid of that, and then go open this up. Then if we select the model, now we can see just the one base here. Right, now if we now add the new texture, as you can see, sometimes not all of them will work, which is sometimes it is a bit of trial and error. So I mean, like, just basically just to show it off, sort of thing. So let's just say we go for that, say for example, and that's the armor add-on. Then we go to the armor, and we go and find the armor that we created for her, which is this one. And we then edit on this one. Well, for this one we gotta basically delete that and add on this, for example. And this is where sometimes it may look like it doesn't work, but then you try it and you think, oh, actually it does work. And sometimes you try it and it's like, oh no, it don't work actually. So now we've got to figure out in which of the actual armor. So this is a little bit different because it's not straight up armor. So I'm going to have a look if it's part of her infantry first, which it might be the case. Though I don't know if it, well, it's there now. So if I then and then as you can see, it doesn't do anything, and there's nothing there. Whereas I say when it wants to load up, so if I delete it, she comes back. And then obviously if I go onto here, and then like I say skin, I can try the armor again, and it disappears. So that could be a issue with the actual armor. So let's have a look at the actual armor. So obviously beast race, that's fine because he's still using that particular one. And things seem to be fine here. There's no extra things we need to put on. Says it's playable, and then if you go to the armor add-on, go to this one, and then we just find what it's compatible with, as well as additional races. We could try Vampire Beast race just to cover the basis, and then we're kind of basically done there. So then if we go back to the actor, back to the mutation, and then we wait for the mutation to load up. There we go. Click on it, and there's still basically nothing there. There's no thing for it. So this is why a lot of the time this ends up being kind of like trial and error, because it's not all, you know, you're not always going to get it to work straight off the bat. But it could be because it's based off Harkon as well, you see, that's at the same time. So I changed the basis by just for, becomes a bit of a pain in the ass. Then right, I'll cut this little bit out whilst I find it. When I find it, I'll be back. Right, after an absolute ball ache, I finally kind of basically got something up. After an absolute ball ache, I'm not even going to bother explaining how much crap I had to do to get this worked out again. But basically, it's working, it's up, I can now carry on. And though obviously I'm probably going to change some of the textures, or at least the colours, I'm just happy I've got to that point. So now all I got to literally do now is only ever really mess around with the actual, I think this is the actual armour textures, and that's it. So for example, I'm going to we get rid of that one, and we're gonna go basically have it as just this and then this. I don't want to see what happens to the skin. Unfortunately, it goes that kind of horrible, shitty purple crap, which is not very good. Yeah. So obviously we need to create a different kind of skin color for her. But this is where I might just not worry too much about the skin. Because the problem with the skin is that it changes the colour of the hair as well. Obviously I could do that and it's like boom, it goes invisible, you know. So I might get rid of obviously that part. Then I need to actually find it again on here. Just gotta find out where it actually is. Skin, gargle, vampire lord cape. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm trying to have a bloody cape. We'll come back to that one anyway. Wow, now I'm gonna find out actually where it is. Oh, skin. There you go. Boom. Right, we're gonna keep her as the normal color of the actual vampire lord kind of thing. It's just in the premise of because it works as one texture, which is not great to be honest. So the actual skin, we can delete that. Yeah. Yes. And we can actually delete the actual skin, and it should still be working fine. There we go. So it's now just about the armor. So only thing I need to change with this one is the actual. Need to kind of change the diffuse more than anything else, because everything else is kind of thing. So we're gonna have a look at some textures, and we're gonna see what there is, and obviously you've got all the stuff, all of it, or at least a lot of it in here. And I've got different cube maps as well. Not all of them. The cube maps you can never really see. You have to kind of. That's the one where you kind of have to like piss around with it a little bit kind of thing, you know. But I can try different things. So I could easily be like, oh, you know what? Let's go to this. Let's rename this. Let's now copy this. Then go to here. Go to here. And then we can go to diffuse, and then we're gonna paste it. Then you're gonna put in .dds at the end, and then got the whole shebang. Or basically, you want the text string, which consists of basically starting from the DLC01 in your string bar at the top of the here. So you want to start basically from here, and then type in DLC01. /effects / and then we're done. So for example, I want to put in DLC01 / mouse is in the way, you see, and then effects / and that's basically that's the string, but you always need to remember to put DDS at the end as well. And we can open that, and then we come up to this, and then at this point it makes it a lot easier to kind of like mess around with basically just messing around with it. And you can see it's already, to be honest, it looks a lot better. I mean, I'm trying to toggle in the sky, but because I could toggle off the light, and it's like very bright. But then you toggle the light, and it kind of looks a bit better. You know, something different. Now, the actual creation of the actual vampire can be a bit of a pain in the ass, because the vampire is, I'll just quickly to show you, if you're not too familiar with all of this. So I can go to actors, and then go to vampire lord, and then these are the only ones we've got. So it's either the bump map, which you kind of need for it to sort of recognise all the little details. You got then the mask, which obviously kind of didn't really do a lot. I mean, I could try it, but I would have to create the skin again. So, for example, I would have to if I could do it, because obviously I could try and load this up. This has been deleted, so I press OK. But if I go to that, it's now been deleted. But I could duplicate it and See what happens if I try and duplicate it. I've never done like this before. Actually, I need to rename the thing, don't I? And then let's type in new. So I don't know if it keeps on class and it is deleted if I try and do that. I don't think it does. I'm going to go to that and then go to this. Yeah, it still kind of classes it deleted. But what I can do to make things a tad bit easier is I could do that, then bring this one up, then go to the environmental map, get this, copy that, go to the diffuse, go to here, paste it there, open it there, and then get the bump map because everyone likes a bit of bump map. Boop, boom, copy, go to the bump map, then add this one in, boom, boom. Yeah, I could do the blood. What I do need to do with this one, and you know, I could just do it as environmental. But what I obviously still do need to do is I need to paste that in, and then I need to actually put in the DLC 01. Boom, and then I need to remember if it's clutter or effect. I can't remember if it's clutter or if it's an effect. So I'm just gonna copy that just in case I've got this wrong. Oh no, it's clutter. Apparently, blood is clutter. And then we're gonna go 0 dark Lilith new skin text. And boom. And then I do actually need to go and now find the add-on, and then so the actual skin wasn't deleted. That's the thing. It wasn't the skin wasn't deleted. Just the texture to the skin was deleted. So I could try the new skin, and as you can see, you've got a much darker kind of black, which actually might actually try that. And then okay, so we got that, and then I need to come to here, and then we now need to come to here, and I might need to reset this and go to here, then give it a second, then boom, and then go up, and then find the skin. Oh no, because it says red, but thing, and there you go. So you know, we got a slightly different look, and instantly that already looks a lot better than what was when I first started this little segment. And then that's it. So okay, so we've conquered that problem. And then so yeah, alright, we conquered that problem. Alright, and I think that's going to be it for now. Obviously, there's still a lot of bits and pieces that we're going to sort out on her, but I am not too worried about that right now. Okay, so we're going to call that a quit. So there you go. That's now Lilith. Anyways, just the general basics of create. And then we can obviously just keep looking at the thing. And then there you go. There's corrupted Lilith. Right. Oh god, trust me, that was a pain in the ass. Absolute pain in the ass to get that working again, because it works a little bit differently than what you would think. And I can't be asked to explain it, it's too much of a pain in the butt. So, you got Lilith, who's not going to be actually, you know, Lilith, Logan and Zara are going to be kind of missable characters. Obviously the Lilith mutation is about character that you can be fighting, but you're not really going to be getting anything off of Lilith in this context, because it's like he's a vampire. They don't use weapons, but again, I don't want to go like too crazy with the weapons and the armors and stuff for this one. So we're probably going to look about. So I'm going to obviously let's just get up the magic tab now. Let's say, for example, we're gonna create an enchantment for a dagger. I might like create like 1 or 2 weapons and a spell or something like that. You know, that you just find throughout the time. Something to give you kind of like a little boost of help if you're doing this quite early on. So we're gonna now make an enchantment. So we're gonna go 0 dark dagger enchantment. Name yet, I don't know yet. Enchantment, or staff enchantment, but since it's gonna be a dagger thing. And then Fire and Forget, which is basically Fire and Forget will be basically it's a one-off and it's based on contact. And then we go for new, and then we got a whole bunch of spell effects here that we can do. I'm not going to bother too much with like messing around with actual magic effects, like the magic effects here. We try and create new stuff. I mean, if I decide to do it to add it to a character or something, I probably will. But for now, I'm going to just worry about the simplistic stuff because I want to make this a bit easier for myself this time around, for once. But I want this one to be kind of something like that. There's some actual like generalized damage. So I could absorb health from things, or stamina, or all of that. But you got magicka damage, stamina damage. The only thing it doesn't actually have is health damage, which is kind of strange. You can absorb everything, but you can't damage anything, which is kind of weird. So say we're gonna, let's get it to, say for example, we're gonna get it to damage stamina. So basically, you say you got 200 damage, well you say you got 200 stamina, and I could say, okay, this does 100 magnitude of damage. That basically then takes away 100 stamina from your 200 stamina pool, or whatever the stamina on the character, on the whatever you hit is. And then for duration, it's literally for like 1 second, so it will. Now it could actually, if I put concentration, then it'll ask me to do that and then change it. And then, but please see, you can't do concentration. So you could try constant effect. And then constant effect, but there's not a lot on constant effect. Yeah, damage, health. But we can't risk that being obviously on you. So our best bet is to go Fire and Forget. So we could have a look at some different things to see if there's anything else that does damage health on here. So you got DLC enchantment, health damage on contact. So let's say this does 50 points of health damage on your character. Say, well, no, your target for 5 seconds. And it costs absolutely nothing to actually hit anything with, so that's useful. Not always the best. Sometimes it could be, and then it costs anything, but then it costing nothing actually means it does nothing. So then we can also then just say, for example, now do. So I'm kind of making this. I'm trying to make this kind of like a poisoned kind of style weapon, and then fire. And then you got some poison damage. Let's just say it's 20 points for another 5 seconds. It still does nothing. It still costs absolutely nothing. This is apparently so far a very amazing enchantment. Apparently. So we've done. There's a whole bunch of stuff to health because we don't like health. So we then reduce stamina damage, and we'll say it's 50 points of stamina damage again for 5 seconds. Now you can see it actually costs something. But the enchantment cost, the enchantment amount. So the enchantment amount is basically obviously how much it costs in the weight of the actual cost here, and the enchantment cost obviously is still the cost. And basically, when you make the weapon, which I'll probably go over at a point in a short bit anyway, is basically your weapon has an enchantment amount on it. And say if I set that to say, I don't know, 5 times 51, which that is 50, 100, 200, 250, it's 255. if I then put the enchantment amount on the dagger at 255, you could then use the dagger 5 times before it runs out of charge, basically. So we got a bit of damage to the health, bit more damage to the health, so stamina damage. And that's the thing, I don't want to make this thing overpowered. I want to keep it nice and simple. You know, you don't want it. You don't want it. And then we got influence competence down medium. So we could do, I don't know, magnitude. I think if you set it at level 20, and we set it for say 10 seconds, and basically, so for 20 seconds, I'm trying to remember. No, for 10 seconds, I think it makes anything at level 20 flee. I think that's how that works. I could be wrong on that, but hopefully that's what I'm thinking. But I could look at something else as well if I really wanted to, so I can have a look at some other things. But I don't think there's too much else I really want to add on. Because unfortunately there's nothing like a friend. There might be something like a frenzy in this, but I can't remember what it's called. But the magic in Skyrim was a bit not as good in some aspects of it. But there you go. You know, you do a bit of damage now, a bit of damage stamina, and you can make people flee potentially. And then here you go, and then we got, I don't know, we call it derangement poison. I don't know how you spell derangement, no fucking idea, but that's how I'm gonna spell it. So you can also calculate it, or you can change the costs manually if you want it yourself. But well, it depends if I want to make the weapon overpowered or not. If I don't want to make it overpowered, then I leave it auto-calculated in, because then you have to use a certain amount. So we're going to keep it at that. I can't remember, it's 84. I mean, obviously if needs be, I will just come back and go on to that anyway, you know, kind of thing. I don't need to. I can just check it again. I don't need to necessarily remember. So then we have now got to create the actual weapon. So we're going to go off of that. Actually, no, I'll keep the magic tab open for now. I'm going to go for the weapon. Okay, so we're going to put this on the dagger. So we go dagger. I know at the moment I haven't loaded up any of the Creation Club mod stuff. But again, I may not necessarily load any of it in, because I might not necessarily actually really need it. So when it comes to creating a dagger, especially if you retexture it, it's a pain in the ass to find. There's not that many daggers you can retexture, or at least in the basics way that I do the retexture. There's not that many you can retexture that allows you to change multiple textures on it. There's only maybe 2 or 3 that I can think of off the top of my head that will allow you to do it. And that is it's the glass dagger. I think the Star Room dagger can, and I think the Dragon Bone dagger I think can as well. But the Dragon Bone dagger can be a bit finicky. But we're gonna go for now. We're gonna go for the glass dagger, and where are you? Just the standard glass dagger, or am I gonna go? Probably gonna go down to the bottom, aren't I? There you go. Somehow it's right near the bottom. Yay. So we're gonna now duplicate the glass dagger. So there you go. We got our dagger. I need to redo them on this a little bit. So we're gonna go just 0 dark glass dagger. Probably the name would just be the Ranger. There you go. Mentality. Alright, so I'm not gonna, again, I don't want to make this thing overpowered, so I'm just gonna increase the damage, just say by 11. Well, I'll say it by 11, I'm gonna increase it to 11. And then we'll put the weight down a little bit. Now I don't know if this was a bug. Oh yeah, I'll show you that was missed when he made it, but I think it's primarily the glass stuff. The critical damage normally tends to be 0 for some reason, but I'm gonna put that to 7. You know, so we're gonna keep it, you know, nice and easy. Right, now we're going to add on the enchantment. So this point where it's here. So enchantment, so currently at the moment is 0. So if I was to put that to 840, this now means that you can use the dagger 10 times before you need to recharge it. Which a lot of discovering weapons are like that. The amount of charges, the amount of charges you get for use in Skyrim is better than what it was in Oblivion. Oblivion was a bit more stringent with it. So say if we want to fit now, so now I've got to calculate basically. Say if it's 30 times, so double that is 1,680, and then add another 840 is 1,720. Then that's 2,520. And obviously taking off the first 3 numbers. So that now will allow you to use it 30 times before, you know, you have to recharge the thing. But it does mean that you will need to use more soul gems to actually charge it back up. That's it, right. So reach and speed I'm going to keep the same. Actually no, we'll increase the speed just a tad bit. Just a little tiny itty bitty bit. So now I need to create the actual texture for this one. So I need to go back to miscellaneous texture sets and then new. So this is always going to be fun. And then we also actually need to go to here to the world object, and we need to get the static, and we need to duplicate the static dagger. So we're just going to go 0 dark glass dagger static. Right, so then we keep that little box just over there. And then we got this one, and then we got this one that has the 0 dark glass dagger, or in this case, the dagger. Fucking hell, I can't spell. Dagger and text. Right, now we need to go into here, and then go across, down, and then we need to get out of thingy. I know I could just press that, just out of there, but I want to make my life hard. Okay, then we go to here, and then got all these files. Oh, and for anyone who is wanting to try and get this, so they can actually do retextures and stuff like that, I have no idea what my background wall is at the moment, so just minimise that. Hi. Quantum. Right, and how many more freaking windows do I have? Right, there we go. I will just load that down. Yeah, I got some ducks fighting some bagels. It will probably change. So I'm just going to go into this folder here. So if you want to be able to extract the textures, I'm not going to go through how to do it in this video, because you can probably find other videos that might explain it a lot easier and better than I can. But if you want to extract textures into its own folder, you need the BEA, or I should be able to look at the properties. It might give you the actual name of it, I think. Or it's just simplified. It might be simplified. Oh, lovely. But it's basically it's basically a BSA extractor, so it can take out all the textures from the folders from the BSAs, which you can normally find in somewhere. Is it in data? Yeah. So normally you have like BSAs like this. So you go down and you got like texture BSAs. And so basically you use the BAE. If you type BAE anywhere in like Nexus mods, you'll be able to find it. You should be able to find it, and then just type it in YouTube and you can get a bit more clearer tutorial. But basically, it'll take out basically textures from from your textures here, and basically then you can just mess around with textures and create what you want. Alright, so we go back to here, and then we go back up to here. So I want to go to the glass, wherever the glass is. Here it is. And then we need to find the dagger. Here is the dagger. So I'm literally just going to be messing around with just these two here. For now, just these two. So we're going to rename and copy. And back to the thing. Back to here. So that was the environmental mask. But I think with this one, if we're going to correctly, your better one to do for that is to actually put it up in the diffuse. And there is a reason. If I can remember correctly, again, it's been a little while since I've done this. But obviously, if I get it wrong, then also I'll correct myself, and then you'll see the correction. Then glass. Just gonna copy this just in case I got it typed out wrong. Okay. Then if we go to what is basically a bump map, paste it. So it's always a good idea to basically, once you've typed it in once, it's always a good idea to just basically just copy it again. So if you need to do the same thing a couple of times or slight change it like what I've just done then, it's a lot easier to do it rather than have to keep going back and doing this, down here, la la la. So I'm going to now just basically put the one in there, and then we're going to OK that. Then I want to know... Oh, did it not change the name on here? That's strange. Oh, that's the glass. Oh, that's why that. Ignore me. I'm reading the wrong thing there. And then we're going to duplicate that, and we're going to change that to basically texture number 2. So now we've got texture 2 and texture 1, and about 15,000 windows on the screen. So now we're going to put on the environmental. We're going to do, for now, we're going to do, let's have a little mess around. So we're going to go to here, then we need to go to, now there is something else. Oh my god, my voice went, eee! So I got some kind of different colours there, but they're a bit more to it. Nyeh. To be honest. A little bit nyeh. So you could do, if you got a resources pack, you can also go on, you can technically go onto here. There is basic colours, and they're very bright. So in the game, they will be very goddamn bright. So if you want to create lightsabers, here you go. You can use that, maybe a way to do. I mean, you could use glass for it, glass source, and then do multiple different colours, and then create basically your own kind of Skyrim version of a lightsaber, but a bit more lore friendly. Technically, if you wanted to, but we're not going to do that. Now I'm just giving some people possibly some ideas. So we're going to just have a quick little look. This is what half the time bloody doing retexturing is that you are literally just going around like this, that and the other, just to sort of like kind of just see what there is. So sometimes you'll spend a lot of time on this. This is why I tend to go to the, not to try and go to too many different places and have like too many different things. So I always have like kind of trusted textures that I'm messing around with. But sometimes I like to obviously change it up and try something a little bit different. So for example, we're going to go and we are going to, now we're going to rename and then copy. Then remember it's just effects is what we're doing. And then we're going to go add and then paste .dds effects. Open, and then there we go. Right, so I'm hoping I got this correct. So if we go, now we're going to close that one down, and then we're going to go to here, and we're going to edit this. So now we're going to find which part it is. Is it this one? So I need to figure out what's going on here. Okay, so I don't have the light apparently. So I could have set this up incorrectly potentially, but it's not to worry because I can just copy this and add it to the environment. Yeah, when you're doing this, you get a lot of like this stuff going on. But again, this is just a nice tedious part of this. But this is also kind of helpful for anyone who may have not actually done this stuff before. They can actually kind of get to see some shit. So, when you're having that kind of issue, you just basically go, effectively, screw the idea of what I was originally doing, and then you paste that on there instead, go to that, and then you try and go, what the set thing off, go to that, go to OK, and then we try again, and as you can see it's now much brighter. Wow, it's brighter when the lights off, but that's just because they're off the lighting. The light, see, to get, because you have the lighting, if you have the lighting off, it'll suddenly be very bright, and it's not how it will look in the game. So you actually need to toggle the lights on to get an idea of how it will look in the game. And as you can see, it has a slightly more orangey thing. But if you want to change the time of day, you can just move the timer up here a little bit. Sometimes it takes a second for it to reset itself, but as you can see, you got a bit more light, so you can see it a little bit in a bit more detail now. And I quite like, that kind of brighter orange one. But now I do actually want to change the colour of the handle as well at the same time. So we need to find a different texture that will work with that. You know what? We're going to try this one. So rename and copy. That's it. Go to there. Then get rid of the environmental mask. Sometimes the environmental mask does help you with. I done that bloody wrong, didn't I? Hold on. I clicked on. I unfortunately was a dumbass and clicked on the wrong thing. Alright, then we paste. Yes. Not DDS. And then back to there, and then back to effects. Yeah, if you wonder why I keep leaning like that every now and then, just because my mouse is down here, but the lighting is like, I can't see the mouse buttons all properly because of the lighting. And then we got that, and then, let's see, we got that, and then we could, for example, say, copy this, and then say, put this in as a glow. It might work. Sometimes the glow works, sometimes the glow doesn't quite work. The glow can be a bit funky sometimes. And then we're done with that one. And then we just go to here, and then we put on texture number 2. And you can see it's changed the colour of the handle. Didn't know there's any glow on it, but I'm not too worried about that. And then there you go. So there is the look of the Ranger. And you can change the scab as well if you want. You can basically change it to that, or you can base it off something else, or something that doesn't work because it's new, or something else that don't work apparently. But anyway, so you can kind of mess around with different things, different textures. But I'm just going to keep it as the original one for that one. Then boom. And then kaboom, Madingy Bosch, and then bang. Right, so now we just need to now go to art and sound. Wait a second. So then we need to find on here the static, and then we just need to basically just retexture here again as well. I think. Oh, it's a blood edge. That's fine. And then just put the things in here as well. There we go. And then the rest, you can mess around with this, and you can get the thing to just, like, make different sounds and stuff like that kind of thing, if you want to. But I'm not gonna. I just want it, I'll keep it the same as it is. But it's like, for example, you can. I did it with another weapon a while back, so you can sort of like have it where when it hits something, it actually creates an effect, a visual effect. The visual effect doesn't actually do anything, it's just a visual effect. But we're not going to mess around with that for now. And then game data, we've already gone through all of that, so that's all done. And then we show okay, and boom, and then bosh. And there you go. So there you go, we've made the first weapon with the enchantment. So we got a weapon. So next we are going to basically now, I want to create basically a couple of pieces of jewellery maybe, or something of that kind. But to save kind of time a little bit, I'm going to go off and okay, the jewellery, I'm not going to mess around with jewellery because retexturing jewellery is not very good. But I do want to create something that's a bit different, just something that for the actual player. But so since I'm not really doing anything directly new, I'm going to do it off camera, but I will explain what the enchantment does when you come back. Right, so I've got 2 rings set up behind here. Just need to rename them, but we need to make the enchantment first. And I've got 2 different windows, obviously open up because I want to make my life complicated. For basically a thing. So we've got ID 0 ring 1 enchantment. So I want to obviously have 2 different it's not 2 different variations, but obviously 2 different rings that do 2 different things from 2 different people. So I'm probably going to break it down to basically one is more for the people who are kind of more magic based, with maybe which is kind of like fine for stealth as well, because you can just it lowers your increases your magicka, or lowers the cost of for the spell for like muffle, for example, which I can't remember what that comes under. I need to find out actually, hold on. I need to find out what muffle comes under, because I can't remember if it's is it illusion or is it alteration? I'm pretty sure it's illusion. Yeah. So it's like, for example, so we'll just do this one now just to get it out of the way, so I know what I'm doing with it. Yeah, so after blah blah blah, constant effect. So we want to basically go here and we want to fortify illusion. And we'll say it reduces it down by 20 seconds. So then it reduces the cost of illusion spells for 20 seconds. Though obviously the magic score damage restoration, but the actual thing actually modifies illusion. So I'm doing this one for the more for the magic based, but it kind of depends. I'm not doing like every single magic school, solid, but I want to do illusion. So the aspect of people who maybe do like a stealthy kind of mage kind of build instead. I know I could just do muffle, but I'll probably do muffle on the second one. And then we're also going to we'll do destruction, but we'll go for 10. And then we'll also increase wherever it is in here. There we go. Well, I could just go to here for magicka, and fortifies the magicka by say 50 points. There you go. It's so it helps for people who. The problem is, obviously destruction sounds are not normally quiet, but I know maybe. So yeah, you got illusion for to help you sneaking around. You got destruction how people literally actually let's be fair to the destruction people. Or the actual people who just basically just throw around fireballs all the time. We'll put that to 20 as well. So you can use it for a little bit for destruction, a little bit for increasing your magicka, and you can use it a little bit for illusion magic as well. And then I don't think there's anything else I want to put on. I'm trying to think there's anything else I want to put on. Actually, we'll put something to help with defense as well, which then with that we will do alteration, and again it's 20. And there you go. So you got something for sneaking around, something for offensive, something for defensive, and there's something to give you that extra little boost in actual power as well. So there we go. And then name, it will be trying to think of a name for it. Tell you what, for now I'll leave a name off. I'll leave it to you lot to actually decide to come up with a name for this spell. Basically, so whatever the name of the spell is, it will also be the name of the ring, because it'll be the ring of whatever, or blah 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 ring, or whatever kind of thing. Well, that obviously aspect of it, I'll kind of work it out. So I'll leave it up to you what we are going to call this one. Just for now, I'll put as a placeholder name, I'll put a question mark. So let me know in the comments below if what it should be called, or you can go and find my Discord. There's a link in there on the main channel page, and probably in the description below this video as well. Or you can go and suggest me on there as well. So there we go. So I'll start one. Because at the moment it's on the ring and mirror. I'm just going to put player 1 just for now, just so I definitely know the name's been changed. Then we just need to go and find the actual spell, which is not going to be on there because of funky business of the freaking things. This is a real pain in my ass sometimes. There we go. And then we're just going to find, there we go, find on here. There you go, and then it should be there, and there we go. And the rest of it I'm going to keep as is, and I'm going to change anything else. I don't need to worry about a quick type or anything like that, value or anything like that. Done. And that's it. Oh. What's the script for this one? Let's have a look. I can't remember what the script for the Ring in the Mirror is. Ooh, it's cannibalism. That's not very good, is it? Actually, hold on. I know an idea. I'm trying to figure out whether to. I'm trying to find it. I'm actually kind of interested in actually putting a perk on this now. The problem is, I don't know if it will directly work because it's not the same script for the perk on it. I mean, I could try and avoid death. And the last one, last hurrah. We'll try it. This is something I'll have to try in testing. So I'll probably try and test it at some point in the near future, and then obviously if it doesn't work, obviously I'll let you know in that video whenever it comes around to it. That doesn't work. So then you know, oh, well, I'm gonna get that because I've got a void definite. It's like, no, it didn't actually work. Alright, so now we're gonna come on to ring number 2. So 0 dark ring 2. And again, this will be another one again that I'm gonna leave it up to you lot to name. You know, same again, put in the comments below or find Discord and let me know on there, whatever. Gotta be. But again, it's another one where it's me names for you, but this one is going to be more about sort of like offense rather, well, the melee people rather than the spell people. Okay, so I don't think the magnitude and muffle really does anything. But this is a constant effect thing, so. Have we still got music playing? No. Play! Play music, play! You don't want just my voice playing in this thing, do you? Jesus. Okay, so we got must hold this tower with stealth. Then we're gonna go the idea is obviously one-handed primarily. The problem with melee is a bit of a tricky one to think of because who do you favour? Do you favour one-handed or do you favour two-handed? You know. But that's what I'm just trying to think of. Maybe to not do that and maybe actually do marksman instead. So then but then the people who use weapons don't have a chance. Don't have anything. You know what? That kind of ties in the muffled a little bit, so you can benefit. Because let's face it, are you gonna go really go around sneaking up behind people with a massive fucking claymore behind you? No, you're gonna have a little dagger and go stabby. There you go. Alright, so you got something to help you with sneaking around. You got something that's on the offensive. So now we need to find something that's defensive. If I can find something that's defensive, anyway. There's a problem. That's the only thing about that. Is, it could 45 armor rating by I don't know, maybe by 50 points. You know, there you go. You got a defensive thingy. So what? Oh no, I know I did this a couple minutes ago, but my memory is shit. So what do we have? So we had offensive, defensive, sneaking, and things. So we've got. So I don't know, here we have sneaking, offensive, defensive, and then just a random thing as well. Suppose probably we'll do health rate for this one rather than it being the health. We'll do the health rate. But at 100%, so it's basically, so your health basically will now then regenerate like double the speed because it's 100% faster. Which that's all kind of already in the game, so at least it's not making it overpowered. It's strong, but not overpowered. Boom. And the problem is I'm now going to do the same thing for here. Oh, apparently it's not. Oh, well. So I've got to put that on there, and then OK it, and then do that. And let's just stop it. There we go here. There we go. Get some music. Why not? Okay, so then I can now basically close this down, and then go find it. Then go back to it, and then put the ring enchantment on. And then change this also to just a question mark because I can. I know we're going to hit the other one, but I don't care. Okay, there we go. And then we got that one. And then, so last thing we're probably going to create on this video because this, unfortunately, is going to be another long one. I know it feels like these are probably long and not a lot happens, but these are just little vlogs, so. A bit of fun, why not? So now we want to create a spell. Spells are always a bit tricky, or can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. I will grant you. So I want this to be because power is not great. So lesser power. Then fire and forget. Then self. Then we're gonna get. I'm gonna try and create something that's. I've done before in a couple of other ones. Quick type. So maybe this is where I don't actually do it. Actually, I don't need to do it as a power. Let's just do it as a spell. Actually, it might work a bit better technically. And either hand, then that's the equip type. So then, if you go to this and go, trying to see if I can find the bound weapon. Nope. Enchanted. Is it not here? Where? Huh? Oh! I just made it on here. It's a little bit different. Okay. So since the people who use one-handed things get the ring, which then kind of screws people who use two-handed stuff over. We are going to find. So we've got bound sword right hand, bound sword mystic, bound bow, bound battle axe. Then we're gonna go basically bound the battle axe to us for say 120 seconds. Then on top of that, it is then also fire cloak, magnitude again 10 and then 120 seconds. And then obviously that has obviously auto calculated it to a very high spell cost. But this is where I now tend to change this a little bit. So we'll put the charge time as normal, but I'm going to cut the spell cost down. We're going to cut the spell cost down to say 200. Then what this do is it creates a magic battle axe for 120 seconds, sheath it to the spell. For 120 seconds, opponents in melee range take, it says 8 points of damage. This is where the flame cloak one or all the other, any other cloaks, they're kind of a bit funny with their damage output. So you can change the magnitude, but it always says 8. But if you change the magnitude, I'm pretty sure that also increases the actual power, that the actual amount of damage it does. It's kind of finicky. And obviously again, this is no one that I will obviously let you know if it doesn't quite work. Because again, this one sometimes is also very finicky. For some reason, doing this combo, for some reason, is a bit finicky, and I don't know why. But we'll try it. But also, I'll let you know if it doesn't quite work. And then put in the name. You shall call it. Well, it's going to show basically it's a big ass battle axe. Bigger. Is it a battle axe or is it a war axe? Battle axe, okay. Yeah, so big old battle axe, and it basically creates you and surrounds you with fire as well. So the name is don't know what to call it. You know what? I'll leave it for you to decide on that one as well. But of course, obviously, if I don't get any suggestions, obviously I'll come up with a name myself, just in case. I'll do the same with the rings as well. Okay. But also for this, we do also need to create the book for it. So we just put on the spell, and then find the spell tome for any kind of bound weapon. Well, technically it doesn't have to be a bound weapon, it could be just a destruction book, but that's fine. And then 0 dark axe tome, spell tome, question mark. Then it teaches you the spell, the axe, and then boom, boom, and then boom. Alright. So we're just going to quickly just save that there, boom, and just double click it. Always double click it just to make sure. And we'll get that all closed down, get all this all closed down, and then there you go. Oh, look at that, hello, little blue thing. But right, I'm going to call this one here. So again, so we made a little bit of progress. Unfortunately, it's just that whole fiasco with the vampire and corrupted Lilith's armor. This kind of took up a fair chunk of time, but we got that armor set made. We got that armor made. We've got a spell tome made. We've got a couple of rings made. We've got a weapon made as well. So there's a few things that you can find throughout the thing. I also just want to create, maybe like I'm probably going to think about creating one piece of armour as well, so we'll probably do that in the next video. And then I think after that, apart from renaming the stuff, we're obviously going to do the armour. Whether I'm going to do enchantments for the armour or not yet, I do not know. So it will either be I'll either enchant it, and that's it, or I'll do two different versions where you get one version that's unenchanted, so then you as the player can put whatever enchantment you want on it, and then you get an enchanted version which is basically whatever the fuck I decide to come up with. But yeah, so we'll do that one in the next video, and then we'll probably create some enemies as well. It'll probably be a few enemies. Maybe one or two unique ones, and then a couple of just normal ones, maybe just slightly altered potentially. Oh, so I'm going to plan a little bit what I want to do with that one there. But right, so that's it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, a bit of a longer one than I was intending, but yeah, what can I do? But if you want to keep up to date with what's going on with this mod, remember to subscribe and hit the like button. And also put on notifications so you can see when I do upload a new video, because obviously I'll either do this or if it's Skyrim, or it'll be something that I download over from Twitch, because I'm also on Twitch. Which, talking about Twitch and Discord and all that lovely stuff, you will find links in the description below to all of that. So you'll find Twitch one, you'll find Discord, you'll also find it just on the main channel as well. And so that is it for now. So until next time, I'll see you all later.